Thanks to EA for the free game code. Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Akron Zips Dynasty mode here in CFB 26. So last episode, if you did not catch it, we had our off-season transfers and we brought in some new players. We also took a look at the players that we brought in during the season, and I think we did a decent job this year. Obviously, there's still a lot of work to go. We did drop off in overall in offense and defense, but I think we did make some pretty big additions to this team. Of course, during the season, we brought in Thanyan, who's up to a 70 overall, so very excited to see what he does in his freshman season. We also did get Mayer as another quarterback option, which he's probably not going to be playing much this year, I guess, but that's okay because he does have proximity to home, I believe, as a deal breaker, so not a huge issue there. Yeah, in general, we brought in some pretty decent players. The other good player that we brought in was Branham during the season, and I'm very excited to see what he could do. He's a 69 halfback. I don't know if he will be getting playing time either, but he also does have proximity to home. But eventually, obviously, after these three guys leave, he should be able to jump up and get into the lineup full time, which is exciting. So, yeah, in general, pretty happy with that. We also did, like I said, brought in some decent players in the last episode as well, but I think definitely we still have a lot of work to go, but I'm excited just to kind of see how this team progresses throughout these next few years and all that. So we have still more of the offseason to get through in this episode, I think, but I'm not too sure how much of it because I've never been past this point before, so I'm going to be kind of in the dark when it comes to all that stuff, so going to be interesting to see what happens after this point in terms of getting our roster set up and all that type of thing. So anyways, before we get into the rest of all that, let's get in your guys' comments, see what you guys have to say about last episode, and then we will see what is next for this team. So the first comment is from Nick Barons OC, who says, freshmen who need to start if they have playing time as a deal breaker, quarterback Thanyan and halfback Branham. And lucky for us, those guys have, I think, just proximity to home. I do have it listed on a thing so I could actually kind of find easier. So yeah, Dion Branham's is proximity to home, and then for our quarterback, his is also proximity to home, so we don't really need to worry about them playing too much. Obviously, it seems like Thanyan, since he's already the best overall quarterback, he'll likely be playing regardless. But there's not a lot of players that don't have proximity to home on our team right now that we brought in. Guys like Coco, Vic, and Folds, they do have coach prestige. Also, same with Von Mayette, who is a one-star guy, so it doesn't really matter too much on him. But a lot of them want coach prestige, which kind of sucks because our coach prestige right now isn't super good. So I don't know if there's any way we're going to be able to improve it drastically. But if we go to defensive tackles, for instance, here, and find Mr. Mayette, you could see that our deal breaker here, we have an F coach prestige right now, but we need a D+. So these guys, I guess, are at a risk to transfer away from our team. So we got to get that up there somehow to hold on to them longer term, I guess. There is a couple guys that do have playing time as a thing, but they're basically three cornerbacks. I think one of them's probably going to end up getting redshirted, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then we also have one guy that wants pro potential, which is Deontay Labino, and apparently right now that's fine. So everybody should be okay with those type of things, but obviously if we get into trouble with players not being able to reach that deal breaker, we're going to start to lose players, which means we're going to have to replace them with people that probably have proximity to home as the main thing. I think that's probably how we should build up this team, is get a lot of guys that have proximity to home first and foremost. That way we don't risk losing them in the transfer portal. The next four and final comments are from Dylan Bros. The first one says, upgrading some of these guys increases their overalls quite a bit. And yeah, I'm hoping obviously that when we get to actually having to give some guys upgrades that we've picked up, like Thanyan, for instance, that he goes from a 70 overall to all of a sudden he's like a 75, maybe getting closer to the 80s. It'll be interesting to see how those guys develop with this roster. He also says, I think you could also add mentals as well. So apparently, I guess with the players that we have, we could upgrade them, but he thinks that we could also add mentals to them, which is kind of cool. So that means that I guess say somebody that we drafted, like Mayer, for instance, who has no mentals, if we really wanted to, we could give him some mentals if he actually generates enough growth throughout the season, which honestly, who knows if he will, because he's only a 2-star recruit. But definitely if they're getting some growth in areas, we could give them mentals if we want to, or we could kind of just keep it the same. I don't know what each mental does. I would assume it describes it when you go into that screen, but I don't really know what mentals do. I'm assuming they're kind of like X factors in NHL, but honestly have no idea. He also says you could also use their skill points to increase your persuasion. And do you mean when it is upgrade coach skills area? Because I don't know where the persuasion is that you're referring to. Let me just take a look at through all these. Yeah, because I don't know if you mean the persuasion is in terms of like just in recruiter, how we were using it before, in terms of getting more players more interest easier, or what. Because we could definitely still keep on upgrading this, or we could wait until next episode, and once we actually get to a level 10, we could add motivator, or we could add tactician. I think the other ones are further out though. Yeah, architect still needs a lot more work. Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to unlock some of these for quite a while. Like win 4 bowl games is going to take definitely a lot of time, I feel like, but we definitely will be unlocking some of these soon at least, and then we could kind of see if we want to spend our points in other areas. And finally, Dylan says, in the recruiting stage, only go after 3+ stars. You can pick up 2s and 1s easily. So he's saying basically that when we're doing recruiting during the season to only target 3-star guys and don't go any more than that. And then basically everybody else is 2 stars or 1-star recruits. So I think that's actually a pretty good plan because we do have, obviously we did bring in 2 3-star recruits in last season. But obviously if we want more of them, we definitely need to work on some of them. So to get 3 of them at least, and then to find more 2 stars and stuff for recruit, we should be making this team a little bit better as these years go on, as long as we don't lose any super good players. But with that said, I think we're ready to get into the rest of this offseason. So there is position changes. None of you guys actually suggested any position changes, so I would assume everything's okay the way it is. So I think we are going to actually just keep it like that. So I think set for that, I think that's all we really need to do this week. So I guess we'll probably advance to next week and see if there's anything else that we need to do. So yeah, let's advance to next week and see what happens. Obviously, I don't really think there's anything else I could do on that day anyways. But let's see what we got for notifications there. We just leveled up to level 12 actually. So we went up by a couple points, which means we do have those other things unlocked now, which is exciting. Our brand exposure is an F currently. Conference prestige D+. Pro potential isn't rated yet. Championship contender D+. Playing style, playing time. Okay. Doesn't really matter. We're the 124th top school in the league. We aren't the bottom. We aren't the bottom. I guess technically the bottom is App State, which I don't know where that even is, but let's advance. But now that we're up to past level 10, if we go to upgrade coach skills, like this is definitely something I want your guys' opinion on still though, because technically now we could unlock motivator with 20 points if we want to. We can unlock tactician with 20 points if we want to. Or we could spend more points on the recruiter part if we want to as well. Like I think obviously recruiting is an important thing for us, so probably I would lean towards spending more points in that area. But obviously motivator, it says culture setter who is strong at player development, so this is good for helping player development. So that's not a bad thing whatsoever, because it says 7 bonus XP when a player levels up. So if we level up some players, that would help us out a lot. And then there's also tactician, which puts players in position to succeed on game days. So this will help us out in terms of win. We do get more XP with each win, which obviously I don't think our team's going to win a lot of games right now. So I think probably if we wanted to, we could unlock motivator, spend some points there, and then also spend more points on recruiter. But I'm not too sure. We do have 92 coins, so we do have a lot of coins to spend, but I'm not too sure where we want to use those. So if you guys could let me know for next episode, that would be appreciated. All right, and oh, that's now telling me about my unlocked motivator. That's kind of funny because I didn't even see that notification before, and now that I went to that screen, it told us that we unlocked motivator, and it's also going to say we also unlocked the other one, which is the tactician one. So yeah, we'll see what we end up doing with that. I don't think one of those make a lot of sense. The others, I think, probably make sense with this team. So anyways, training results, what is this? Because I've never been on this part of the screen. It looks like, oh, some growth and all that. So we could see some growth around our team. Starting off with our quarterbacks. This is people that played last season, so this doesn't include the players we brought in. But looks like Brookhart's up to a 73, which obviously then that means our current quarterback that I brought in, Tanyan, probably is the number 2 quarterback, which kind of sucks, but it's not a huge issue because he doesn't technically need to play. He'll probably play as the backup option, I guess, and he'll maybe get some games in if Brookhart gets hurt or something like that. Aside from that, halfbacks, Curry's up to an 82. Wow, we actually are getting a lot more growth than I was expecting. I honestly don't know how much growth this game has and stuff, but looks like some of these guys that were on this team last year are going up a decent chunk of points. Like Adams is up to an 85. I'm pretty sure this is all just growth related. The good thing is with this game, I don't think there's stuff like statistical growth. Maybe there is, but I feel like this is all more natural related. So good to see a lot of these guys growing. It's going to be more exciting next offseason when we have actual players that we've picked up and seen them grow. But these guys all seem to be growing decently. Some of them by a good margin, others by not as much. Yeah, okay. Oh, there is, I guess, technically the guys we brought in versus the transfer portal. Because Lakusa did play last year. He's up to a 71 this year with our team. I can't remember who else I brought in last episode, but we did have some people transfer to our team from other schools. But okay, so now I kind of understand at least how these off seasons work. So technically, I guess I could go further in the next year's off season in one episode if I want to, because I wasn't too sure if I'd be going too far ahead or not. But also then again, position changes I think are important if you guys ever think of any position changes and all that. But there we go. So there is all the updates on that. Aside from that, we could go back to upgrade coach skills, but I'm not going to do that yet because I don't know where to spend those points. Let's advance another week. Since we are past training, we should be getting closer, I think, to the start of the actual season, and then we could take a look at what recruits are out there and all that. But we are still 54s across the board, so I guess that overall change doesn't really help anything, but maybe it does before the season starts. Not too sure. We can encourage some transfers, so I guess that means encouraging people to transfer away from our team so that way we can get people in if we really want to. Is there anybody that we really need to encourage to transfer from our school? We have too many people. We're actually over by 2, so we kind of need some people to transfer, I guess. If we look at our current quarterback situation here, so let's sort this by overall just because it might be a bit easier. Technically, right now, Tanyan is not playing, but we probably could get somebody like one of these quarterbacks to transfer. Because we do have 5 quarterbacks. I don't feel like we need 5 quarterbacks. I could be completely wrong with that. Trying to see who else I would want. Why does it go out of order? I wanted us just to keep on sorting by overall. Let's see. So none of these guys are want playing time, so that's good. Is there anybody that absolutely needs playing time that we'd have to get people to transfer? Because we have, I think it was the cornerbacks, right? Yeah, it's the cornerbacks that really want playing time, so maybe we'll look at those and get some people to transfer on quarterbacks. Let's see on this. Yeah, so we have a decent chunk of cornerbacks already. These guys all care about playing time. DeWalt's actually pretty good. Clark Glover is a guy that I had, I think, come over to our team from another school. Does he care about playing time? Championship contender, so that doesn't matter too much. I don't know if I'm supposed to encourage people to move out of this team. I don't know who I should tell to move. We need 2 people gone regardless. So if we go to our entire roster, who's somebody that we don't really need? Who's like the lowest overall players? It's probably people we just picked up, right? Yeah. I honestly don't know where I should be cutting people. This is where I wish you guys would give me some suggestions on. I guess technically to open up that other quarterback spot, maybe I should suggest Regal wants playing time. Yeah, he's kind of the third one. Let's suggest him to transfer, encourage him to transfer, which he does, I guess, or they automatically just do it. That way we get Tanyan into the potential lineup next season a bit. And then aside from that, I think we also probably need to encourage a cornerback just because we have to get some of these guys maybe some playing time. So I probably, technically only 2 cornerbacks play at a time. That's the only problem. But these guys probably shouldn't be playing yet, I guess. So maybe I should be redshirting these dudes. I honestly don't know how that works. Is there any other area that has a lot of players? I think wide receiver had a lot, right? Oh yeah, wide receiver has a ton of players. I don't even know how much wide receivers play at a time. Let's, I guess technically you want people that are in like their last year, like the senior. He's a 69. He cares about playing style. Trying to encourage somebody else. Who do I want to encourage? This guy's a sophomore as well, so he's not very good. Let's just get rid of this dude. I honestly have no idea who I'm supposed to be doing, but let's just do that. Perfect. So we're at 85 out of 85, so I don't think I need to encourage anybody else. I could encourage more, I guess, but I don't think we need to yet. Aside from that, custom conferences, I don't really know how to set up conferences and stuff. We're just going to keep that the same, and we're not going to upgrade our stuff. So let's advance a week and see what's next. But if I should be encouraging more people to transfer, please let me know, because I honestly have no idea with that screen whatsoever. Alright, so our overalls actually did change after that week, so we're now a 59 overall rated school, 59 offense, 61 defense. So our defense stayed the exact same from last year, it looks like. Our offensive rating dropped off a little bit, but looks like we're pretty much staying exactly the same almost, for the most part. And I think we're at the next season already. Yeah, we're at preseason, which means now we could look into the next set of recruits and what we need. So this is going to be exciting. Let's, I guess, get into it already and take a look at what is out there. So brand new season. We have a lot of hours to spend. We aren't going to be doing any in this episode, but I do want to look through each position just so we could see what there is. So let's not go recommended. Let's start actually looking at 3-star recruits to start off with, because you guys said to go for 3-star recruits. We need a lot of things apparently this season. A lot of things. So we need one quarterback, we need a halfback, we need 2 wide receivers, 2 guards, 2 edges, which I honestly still don't remember what that stands for. 2 offensive linebacker, or outside linebackers, I mean. 4 cornerbacks, 1 full safety, and 2 strong safeties. So, or 1 strong safety, I should say. So pretty much we need everything almost. So let's look through the 3-star recruits and see what there is out there. So let me remove my face so you guys can kind of see a little bit more in depth here. So the first and foremost, there is a 3-star cornerback who wants playing time. The thing with that is we brought in Tanyan. So is he the type of guy that we'd bring in? I'm not too sure, because he could get playing time here for sure, which is not bad. But there's also Grubb, who does have proximity to home. He's from, what state is that? Arkansas. We have he's decently close to here. He doesn't have any interest in us yet, but he might not be that bad. Is there anybody that actually has us high on their list already? No, there is not. Okay, that's fine. Let's continue looking through this here. So we've seen Jennings about his playing time. We saw Grubb about proximity to home. So if we need another quarterback, but I'm not too sure if we want a 3-star one, just because we also have Mayer as a 2-star, I think. But there's Grubb. There's also Larry Diamond, who has proximity to home. He's actually from Kentucky, so he has even better proximity to home than Grubb does, because Grubb is from further away, I guess. There's also Nate Blaylock, proximity to home from Raleigh, North Carolina. We could look into him. Also, if you guys want to look in the archetypes, backfield creator for Blaylock. Diamond's a dual threat, which apparently is really good. Grubb is a pure runner, and then Jennings is a pocket passer. So there is those guys. There's also Nazir Garvin, who's also a dual threat. He wants playing style, which we are very close to being below that playing style, but apparently it's good enough. There's also Miles Duckett, who also has playing time as a thing, which, like I said, playing time here shouldn't be too hard for a lot of these guys to get, but Tanyan's like pretty much our normal number 1 quarterback right now, so I don't feel like quarterback is a strong need. Like, we could definitely find a 1-star quarterback if we need to, or a 2-star one, or we could find another 3-star if we really want. But there's also Marco Williams, playing style related. There is Percy Walter, a couple backfield creators in those two. There is also Mafu Tualu. I don't know how that's pronounced. But anyways, he's a dual threat. Playing time is his number 1 thing. There's Lester Swope with playing style. So it looks like a lot of these guys, we actually meet their deal breakers. So that's why they're not blocked off, which is good. James Hasty is proximity to home. He's from South Carolina. There's also J.J. Rashid, playing time. Denard Agoud for playing time. Termaine Beach, what a name, proximity to home, from Oak Park, Illinois. So that's pretty close, actually, I guess, technically, because Illinois is not far from Ohio. And that might be it for 3-star quarterbacks. So, no, never mind. There's Chad McNutt. What a name. He's from Buffalo, New York. His is also playing time for his deal breaker. There's another Tanyan who could play quarterback, but we could also use him maybe in other positions considering he's an athlete. So proximity to home is his thing. He's from Baton Rouge, but it would be funny to have 2 Tanyans on our team. We also have Eric Ebi. He's a backfield creator, playing style related. And that's it for 3-star quarterbacks. We'll also look at some other 3-star recruits here. So halfbacks, we do need 1 halfback. So maybe a 3-star halfback is not a bad idea. I think, who was Branham a halfback that we brought in last year? I don't remember. Let me see. Was he a halfback? Yeah, he was. So technically another halfback that's 3 stars might not be a bad idea, but it's probably not the craziest thing we need. This guy, Hakeem Chigo Ziam? I don't know how it's pronounced, but elusive bruiser, pro potential is the deal breaker for him. There's also Percy Brida, who also has pro potential. Then there is Marquez Casey, proximity to home, from Lakeland, Florida, which is not really that close, so it is a little bit on the lower end type of things. There's also Devin Graves, playing time. Easy thing to get for us is playing time, so we could look into him. There is also Creed Hoffman with pro potential. Aside from that, Pat Van Dijk, I don't know how it's pronounced, but playing time. There is also George Grogan, who's got pro potential. Lloyd Amerson, who's got playing style. There's an athlete in James Moe with playing time. Cole Lowell with pro potential. Wow, there's actually a lot more 3-star people that I thought I could try and target. I don't think halfback's a necessary thing. There's Tyrell Kumpler, Jared Botassi, Deontay Madu, what a name, Keon Rahman. Hey, there's an officer, Reggie Officer, pro potential. But if you guys see anybody here that has like proximity to home and is close and or playing time related, and we actually need them, maybe those are the type of guys we should be targeting. So please list out anybody you see here that might be a good target for one of the 3-star recruits we bring in, because we'll definitely look into 3-star recruits, and then we'll obviously look into like 2 stars and stuff like that as well. But the 3-star recruits are probably our number one thing to try and get first and foremost. Obviously, we're not going to be going after a ton of them, but if we could get 3 of them, that would be nice, and that way we could start making his team better and better each year. So, Sean Stingley, what a name. Yeah, there's some really interesting names with this game. A lot of generated ones. Spencer Rawlings, Alexander Bruni. Damn, I'm not even halfway through this list of halfbacks. Hopefully there's a lot of people we could bring in. I'm excited to get to recruiting again in the next episode, because it's just always fun recruiting people during the season. I think that's probably my favorite part about this game mode, is the recruiting part. It's just fun. Like, I kind of wanted to do like a draft to glory type of thing in this, which it wouldn't be really draft to glory because it's not a draft, but it would have been kind of interesting to just do like a recruitment to glory, so to speak. Just where during the season I recruit people. I don't do anything during the off season, but a lot of these guys have playing time as a thing, which is great, because coming to this organization, you're probably going to get playing time relatively soon if you haven't already. Also, if I should be looking into redshirting some people before the season starts, please let me know, because I think we need to probably redshirt some people before the season starts, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, fullbacks. I'm going to try and go through this a little bit quicker just because there's a lot of names out there. I mean, this is a pretty short episode so far, but I just don't want you guys sitting around forever here. Ty Byard for fullbacks. We don't need a fullback. So this is an area that apparently we don't really need to target, but there's not really a lot of them anyways. But if we did want to bring in a 3-star fullback, we could. So yeah, there's only 3 options in that area. Wide receiver, we apparently need 2 wide receivers. So we could look to a 3-star wide receiver. I think this might be actually a good idea, because we did bring in Griffin as a wide receiver last year as a 2-star, but we didn't bring in any 3-stars. This guy wants playing time, and that's an easy thing to give him, is playing time with this team. So Pat Silvestro might be interesting to look into. Aside from that, there's also Joey Portillo, who also wants playing time. So those might be not that bad to target. There's Logan John, also playing time related. Proximity to home for Nicholas Wade, which we're not that close. He's also from Florida, so there's a high chance that he'd probably go to more of a Florida-based school, my guess. There's Bobby Rashal. Damn, there's a lot of wide receivers here. He also has playing time from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so we're also close to his home, I guess. Curtis Whiters, playing time as well for him. Lyle's playing time. A lot of them are playing time, which is good. So any of these 3-star wide receivers might be a decent target. Obviously, we need to look into their attributes and stuff like that to see if they're actually good, but we definitely have some ideas, I guess, already on what we want to target. I think a wide receiver, because we need 2 of them, I think one of them has to be a 3-star recruit. Because if we have multiple needs for multiple types of players, it might be good to target in those areas a 3-star recruit in each of those areas, or at least in a few of them. So, Mod Beeb. Yeah, I like the generated names in this game. It's pretty funny. Titus Mock. Damn, Titus. Titus sounds like a friggin' gladiator or something. There's a couple more here. There's Bronson Grubbs, playing time. There's Gideon Chigozim, another guy with that same last name. Interesting. Brenton Rashad. Yeah, the playing time I think is definitely something we could guarantee with a lot of these guys, so that might help with things a lot in terms of getting them. Or we could try and get some guys that have proximity to home instead. But I'm not too sure which would be easier for us to land, because right now playing time's easy. Obviously down the road playing time might be a bit tougher if our roster's good. So maybe we take advantage of playing time right now, and eventually it's just mostly proximity to home once we actually have a good roster or something like that, which I honestly don't even know if that's going to be a thing. I still feel like I'm building this team up weirdly, but Longo. Yeah, there's a lot of 3-star recruits that would not mind coming here just because of proximity to home and playing time, it seems like. But obviously, we don't really want to get into like a friggin' neck-and-neck race with some teams, but other people we might want to. We probably want to look for somebody that doesn't have a lot of teams interested in them, or actually a lot of low interest, I should say. But we could definitely jump up high after 1 week of scouting too, so hopefully we could find some decent talent. There's also Trevor Bowenko. Playing time is also an A+ for him. It'd be an A+ for most of these guys, probably. Bruce Pepper. What else you got here? Roderick Talib, and that might be it. No, a couple more down here. Dwayne Dinkins, and then Demarius Harvin. Also, I guess take a look at the class when you're mentioning about these guys, because if they're a JUCO, we probably want more high school related guys. Alonzo Cahill, that type of thing. All right, so that's wide receiver. We then need to head to the offensive guards. Is there anybody here that we could target? We do need 2 people in this area. Is there anything we could target in this area? There is right guard. There's Wesley Winston we could look into. So Wesley Winston might be an option. There's also Joshua Willett. And there's Juan Ansa. There's also Al Uche, if that's pronounced like that. Caleb Darasol. A couple more down here as well. Robert Blansingame. What the heck kind of name is that? All right. There's Hashim Aguayo. There's also George Parms, Alfonso Reina, and Sam Nye. Sam Nye, the science guy. Yeah, okay, so there is options for offensive guard, which is good. Or O-guard, or whatever the heck it stands for again. Let's head to the defensive targets. We do need 2 edge players, which there is some here as well. Lee Mock. Here's also Peyton Madston. There's probably going to be a decent chunk of these guys, my guess, too. We also still have to briefly look into the 2-star recruits and stuff like that. But I think, obviously, I could figure that out on my own as what 2-star recruits to look into. But 3-star recruits, I want your guys' opinions on which one should be the primary targets. Like, which players are probably the most important for us to get a 3-star recruit in? Because we did recruit players in these type of positions last year, but most of them are 2-stars. Because we only got a 3-star quarterback and a 3-star halfback. So I don't think a 3-star quarterback and halfback make a lot of sense. So it's got to be a 3-star wide receiver, a guard, an edge, an OLB, a cornerback, a full safety, or a strong safety. So I think that's probably what we'll look into for 3-star recruits. And hopefully we can at least land somebody, because there is a good chunk of them. RJ Hainsworth. And damn, yeah, there's a lot of names, man. Holy crap. George Hammer. We could bring the Hammer on defense. That'd actually be kind of an interesting name to bring in. Sometimes I like looking into players just for their namesakes. What else we got here? James Bettino. We also got Tim Stick. So we could have a stick on defense, which honestly makes me sound like he's going to get like knocked over. He is a pretty hefty dude though at 294, but he is not a stick for sure. Carl Likely might likely be an option. I just like making puns with these names. Desmond Bergstrand, Larry Savage, a Savage on defense, might not be bad, and Nick Teamer. All right. For OLB, what do we got? There is Dion Virgin. There's also Imani Bowie, Percy Ruggins. Also, you got your Cole Floyd, Alexander Newcomb. Damn, there's a lot of prospects here. I know this part's probably boring, but you guys at least could help me make a good choice with the 3 stars. Actually, did I even need to go to this part? Oh, yeah, I did need to go to this part. Okay, just making sure. Andy Riddick, Jeremiah Beach, Forrest Brink. What names? Sidney Thorne. Yeah, I feel like we just got to pick up players based on their names. Make this a full-on meme team if we wanted. Claiborne, Carden, Engler, Averill. Childress, okay, or Childress, I don't know. Sidney Hitchcock, Jimmy Lasco, Ben Wick, might be related to John Wick, PJ Barr, DeAnthony Allen, Joel Cookus. Does that mean he's going to cook some people? I don't really know. Another crazy last name. I don't know how to pronounce this one, I don't think. Odigizua? Odigizua? I don't even know. I'm not even going to butcher that if I can. Lyle Davis, Dorian Kuberiski, Dylan Witt, Matt Corner, DJ Ramsour, Imari Usoi, I don't even know, Johnny Scales, and Doug Goodley. So those are some options for 3-star OLBs. Let's head to cornerback. 4 cornerbacks we need this year, and we already brought in a couple last year. We brought in 3 last year. So this area, we don't necessarily... We could probably bring in a 3-star one at least, but getting the playing time for those other 2-star ones might be tough. But there's Lloyd Coleman at cornerback. There's also Mr. Wesley Emery, Gio Cornell, TJ Sands, Romeo Rothman, Marco Rowe, Titus Kenyon, so another Titus. There's also Jimmy Irushia. Yeah, these names are ridiculous. DeAndre Stork, Alex Edmond. Obviously, we could literally go for any people, but if you guys see a cool name that makes sense for us, maybe that's somebody we'd look into. Honestly, don't know. DeAndre Heath, Devon Lockett. Anybody else? Larry Peel. All right. Lamar Capra, Doug Reyna. Taekwon Shorter. I feel like maybe 1 3-star cornerback might not be that bad to go after. Najee Hemphill. Yeah, we probably, if we want to target 3 3-star recruits, we probably should do like maybe 1 on offense, just because offense we don't need as much. And then we probably want to go for 2 on defense. That's just my guess, just based on the fact that we need more defensive stuff than offensive. Full safeties. Is there any 3-star full safeties? There's Randall Ramsey. There's also Broderick Coates, Gregory Poole, Jay Schrader, Larry Hennessy. There's not going to be as much safeties here, but Vernon Kashama. Maybe a safety wouldn't be a bad idea. And that is almost it. There's also... Okay, this is definitely one to look into. Anthony Davis, that's funny. I just think of the friggin' basketball player. That's hilarious. Except for this guy's only 6'2". So, Anthony Davis, huh? Might be interesting. Max Falk and Ron Allers, or A.H. Allers, I would call him. Strong safety. What do we got? Any 3-star strong safeties? James Hooks and Maurice Aguad. So there's not a lot of strong safeties for 3 stars. So I think the areas I would probably look to target the most for 3-star recruits, like I said, wide receiver probably is the number one. Cornerback, since we need 4 of them, maybe 1 3-star cornerback. And then I don't know which other position. If you guys saw any fun names to bring in or somebody to target, please let me know. Aside from that, obviously there's going to be a lot of 2-star recruits, so we don't really need to look into this right now because I feel like I'll be able to do that after in next episode anyways. Yeah, I think that those 3-star recruits are the most important ones. Like, we could definitely look into these kind of guys in next episode in the same areas we need. So, yeah, I think we kind of already have an idea of what we want. I think 1 offensive player and wide receiver or guard would be good. And then I think a defensive player in cornerback and a offensive or outside linebacker and an edge would be good. But we only need maybe 3 to 4 3-star recruits, but we could definitely go for more of them if we really want, but obviously going to be a lot more work to win them over. Alright, so there is that. Is there anything else we need to take a look at here before we end this episode? Oh yeah, I think if we go to our roster here, let me actually go to our roster. I do want to see the red shirts right now, because I'm not too sure on how this works. This is where I need some opinions on who should be red-shirted and who shouldn't be. Ooh, Tanya's not red-shirted, and same with Mayor. So it red-shirts the people that were here last season. So does that mean Brookhart's red-shirted because he's grayed out? Like, should I be putting somebody else? Oh, actually, no, I have to choose a red shirt between Tanya and Mayor. It's between the guys that I drafted, yeah. So who should be red-shirted out of the people that we brought in? So Tanya and Mayor, obviously, I don't think Tanya should be red-shirted, really. Mayor probably could get red-shirted if we really want. Halfbacks, Branham doesn't care about playing time, really. I don't know if any of these guys deserve to be red-shirted. Probably like Labinho. Probably the worst of every type of player would make sense. I guess technically Pat Pope's eligible to be red-shirted, even though we didn't draft that guy. So, wide receiver, obviously Griffin probably could get red-shirted if we really want to, because he's not ready to go yet. Tight end, we only have the 1 tight end that could be red-shirted in Bibbs. Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly if there's anybody specific that we want redshirt, but if you guys could give me a list of people that should be redshirted, I will redshirt them, and that way we have this set up for the season. So, because some of these guys aren't going to be playing, and others, or most of these guys that we picked up probably won't be playing, I would assume. This guy could still be red-shirted, which is surprising, as a 73. But yeah, our team really didn't drop off that much from last season, which is good. Like, we were a 61, we're now a 59, but I think obviously with some development and all that, we should get a little bit better, which is good. Yeah, I'm not too sure on anybody who should be red-shirted whatsoever. I was thinking maybe redshirting one of these cornerbacks would make sense, just because we have 3 of them that we picked up last year. I was leaning towards Kevin Letton last episode, not too sure if he still should be that guy. But looks like some of these guys are growing a little bit already, which is cool. Okay, strong safety, kicker. Sombralio is definitely not going to get redshirted, I don't think. I think he should be probably our number 1 kicker next season almost already. If playing time is good for him. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who should be redshirted whatsoever. Alright, so that is that. Aside from that, I think that's almost it. I think that's it. Let's double check on that. Like I said, we could upgrade our coaching skills in the next episode, probably too. We'll start scouting out some 3-star recruits and bringing in some 2-star ones if we want to as well. Yeah, I think this is a good point to stop it. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Akron Zips Dynasty Mode. So, in next episode, we will start recruiting. I don't know if we'll get through the entire season in next episode because it might be too long. So, maybe I'll split it up into 2 parts again. Do like half of the season, try and work on those 3-star recruits early on. Also get a couple 2-stars interest as well. But I think at least I know kind of more what I'm doing going into the season, which is exciting. So hopefully we can find ourselves some more good recruits, and hopefully some of those guys that might be in the lineup this season, like I don't know if Tanya's going to be playing or not, but hopefully they have decent games if they do play. Send anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.